We can talk to our guest right now.
Yes, he's one of the all-time greats, a Hall of Famer. And, he does Dolphin games now down in Florida, but he's done Super Bowls. And for me, Bird, Andrew, Tony, that great basketball era, he will always be the voice of that. And that's our very, very good friend, Dick Stockton, who's a big Imus guy, too. Dick, you're on with Bernie and Sid. How are you, pal?
Hey, it's great to be on with you guys. And, Sid and Bernie, and I just want to say that I have my Super Bowl prediction at some point, but if it doesn't work out, I am going to protest, and I'm going to call it an illegitimate result.
I love it. All right, Dick, that's great. That's fantastic.
That's great.
The legendary Dick Stockton. I don't know if you like that or not, but that's a fact right there. You're going to protest because you will have been triggered because your prediction, what you wanted. The outcome you wanted didn't happen, so understand.
But you know how you know Dick's a good guy? Is how you know. He talks about the protest just now. He has a great sense of humor. Many years ago, Bernard, we were on Imus together. God, I don't know, 15-something years ago. Dick came up on the Imus show, and we said something kind of jokingly about Dick. And I saw Stockton down in Boca years later, and the Imus stuff came up, and he was laughing about it. I said, that is exactly what we need to all be about. The snowflake thing, these people that are so worried about every little thing, and all this stuff, all the years, Dick, Imus and all that stuff. You take it all in stride. I mean, you're just a good, loving, fun guy.
Hey, look, we're here for so many years. We want to have fun. We all have great jobs. We're talking about the toy department of life in sports. I'm not talking about the other kind of stuff that isn't toys. But and why not enjoy it? I mean, and look, if someone says something, who cares?
Right.
Who cares, right?
Right, relax.
Move on.
Everybody relax. So, Dick Stockton, listen, you have a podcast, by the way.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, everyone knows me from play-by-play and doing games. But, I've always, in my 50 years of broadcasting,
wow.
I've seen a lot of things. I've met a lot of people. And I think now, and now I would like to talk to people at length, not just for a couple of minutes, and really delve into what they're all about. And I think because they have, seen me over the years, and I've been, maybe, kind of straightforward and honest and stuff on the air, that I can ask them some penetrating questions, and they'll answer it knowing that I'm not going to embarrass them,
right? But
still try to get some good things. And so, StocktonPodcast.com is out there, and it's called Stockton. And, I've done a pretty good thing, I thought, with A-Rod, and he was forthcoming.
Wow.
John Lynch and Bill Walton and Chris Webber, and we're going to be doing these kind of interviews, and it's something that I can now expand on besides just doing the play-by-play NFL that I do for Fox. So,
well, it's a great thing. First of all, you're the antithesis of me and Bernard. We tried desperately to get all of you guys into trouble, say something that'll get us in the news. You happen to, but what's great about the podcast, Dick, is there's no time constraints. You don't got to go to commercial. You can sit there with A-Rod and do a full-length 20, 30, 40-minute interview, get everything out of the guy in a very kind of relaxed atmosphere.
Yeah, and you know what? I also have a website, dickstockton.com or dstockton.com. I get confused with a lot of the different ones, but I do a blog, and not just sports. And I've made some comments about what's going on with the press. I've been kind of embarrassed. I studied journalism at Syracuse University, and I'm really embarrassed with what's happened with the press.
So are you talking about? Yeah, we talk about that on this show all the time. Listen, I didn't really like Trump. I didn't vote for Trump, although I do root for him, and I think he's done a pretty good job so far. But I do admit, even saying I didn't like him during his campaign, there was a very obvious media bias that still continues today. When you say you're kind of embarrassed by the press, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, I am. I'm totally embarrassed because, when I was trained at Syracuse, they said, well, there are reporters, and people write, there's an editorial page and an op-ed page, and that is the opinion page. And when you report the facts. But now it's all editorial, so something is skewed. I don't think I know.
You're damn right, Dick. It's disgusting, actually. The press is, yes, it makes you want to vomit. But it got Trump elected. People saw through it, and Thank God for that. And then we were talking to Iron Mike Coach Ditka about the journalist today, the sports journalist, trying to get Brady to denounce Trump. And if he doesn't, that means he's a racist and a bigot himself. What do you think about those guys?
Well, you know what? Everyone likes labels, and if someone examines labels, they'll find out that the things that you're accusing people of are not even true. But it's so easy to throw epithets at people, and I think the idea is to get sensational. Look, if you get Tom Brady to say something sensational, that's going to be a week's worth of talk, okay? So let's just get some information. It's not boring to talk to Tom Brady about football, about the game. I think that if you ask Tom Brady about football, he'll talk about football.
Right. Yep.
And that's what we're talking about this week with the Super Bowl coming up. So, right?
Exactly. Well, yeah. Some people are. Some, like Bernard said, are still trying to, put not just Tom Brady, as you know, Dick. I mean, Bob Kraft, who was just on Fox News with Brian Kilmeade this morning, pledging his love and support for Rex Tillerson and Donald Trump. Certainly Bill Belichick is on record talking about how he loves Belichick. And by the way, this administration, from Tillerson yesterday to Trump, talks about setting up a winning team like the Patriots. So there is a big-time, very public love affair going back and forth.
I think what happens is that the people who are supporting, and is this a bad thing, the President of the United States are not talking up. They're letting the other people protest talk as if the world of freedom of speech doesn't apply to us.
They're intimidated is what it is. Some people are starting to come out of the closet a little bit, but for the most part, they've been intimidated, and which is why, for example, in the polling leading up to the election, it didn't reflect what was happening out there because people were afraid even to tell pollsters what the hell they thought. But hopefully this is going to change now with Donald Trump's, his election and his straight talk. Dick Stockton on with Bernie and Sid on WABC. So it's been for the NFL a bad year, ratings-wise, flat, pretty much, down actually. And you had the Colin Kaepernick stuff out there. People turned off a little, and it seems like this Super Bowl doesn't have a lot of juice, Dick. What do you think?
Well, I don't necessarily agree. I mean, I think, and I don't know how we describe juice, but I'm looking at the game, okay, because we always narrow our focus to the game, and I think it's a sensational game as it shapes up because we have this dynasty that has dominated football. And it doesn't matter who wears the uniform. People can't even name half of the wide receivers Tom Brady has thrown to in winning those 4 previous Super Bowls. They can't name all of the running backs like you can with some other teams. And yet here they are, year in and year out, a contender, and going against what I consider to be, and I've watched and covered this team and covered the league, maybe the best offense that I have seen in years. An offense that can beat you in 1,000 ways. Matt Ryan throws to 12 different guys. It used to be, well, if you stop Julio Jones, that's the end of that team. No longer the case with the depth at receiver. They've got 2 running backs who can run and can catch. And the great challenge in the drama that I see in this chess game is how does this New England defense, which has been exemplary all year, manage to stop this team from scoring 24 points or more in the game.
That is completely fair. That is a great football breakdown. But let me explain this here from my standpoint, Dick. One of the reasons why I got out of sports talk, where I was doing very well, and went into politics and news, where I'm doing even better now, was I saw the writing on the wall. Listen, there's only about 4 cities, Dick, in America where Mike and the Mad Dog could do their thing, and maybe Philly, maybe Chicago, maybe Boston. In other words, the game is one thing. But if something about the game doesn't end up on TMZ, I'm not saying this is good, doesn't end up on TMZ or Entertainment Tonight or Fox News, then all you're doing is talking football. And this game needs to transcend that. There needs to be a guy you don't like, a quarterback who's a troublemaker. This game is nice Tom Brady versus nice Matt Ryan, which, yes, from a football standpoint is entertaining, but that's not enough to entertain the folks out there that don't watch the game every week.
I thought this was a sports show. No, I'm okay.
No, but does that make sense?
No, it does make. You know what? It's the sign of the times, Sid. I mean, there's no question. I mean, how many years ago, Antonio Brown, on Facebook, Instagram,
right?
the Bulls,
right?
No, it's a different world. I mean, what happened to the team? Although you will never see this happening with the Belichick club, you know that, and so it's a different time. I understand that. I mean, it's wild. It's wild in the streets as far as what's going on in sports compared to the 50 years ago when I started doing this thing, or in the 50s when I was growing up and decided that this is what I wanted to do. But despite that, you have to know, and this is what you guys do before the game, and you guys will do next week. You will talk about the game in those terms. But for the 3 hours on the field, what is it, Sid?
It'll be a good game. I agree with you. No, it's going to be a really good game.
You're right about that.
You're right. Yep.
It will indeed. Listen, Dick Stockton, sadly, we're out of time. StocktonPodcast.com. Dick, your pipes are as deep and strong as ever. It's great to have you on the Bernie and Sid Show. We thank you very much for appearing.
You guys are great. Thanks for having me on.
You're great, too. God bless you, Dick. Continued success. You're a good man. We love you.
Enjoy the game.
Love you, Dick.
Back on the Bernie and Sid Show after this.